Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are on page 5 of your student journal, and our goal or our objective for today is, today I will represent, which you remember from earlier means show, represent or show numerators. And numerators is our key word. Okay, so our vocabulary is the same as the last video. We have partition, which remember means to divide or distribute into equal shares. And I said, I always think of it also means cut. And then our key two words that we were working on are numerator and denominator, which are our two parts of our fraction. So our numerator is our top number. And this tells us the number of equal parts being considered, or sometimes I think of as how many you have. And the denominator is the total number of equal parts in the whole. So how many have you partitioned or cut the whole into? Okay, so I'm going to get started with this with my red pen if you want to sit down and just watch for a moment. Here's my first problem, and it says, divide the candy bar into 6 equal shares. Okay, so a candy bar is usually rectangular, and they want me to divide it into 6 equal shares. That means my denominator is going to be a 6. So I might do one line there and then lines here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal shares. Okay, next they tell me shade 2/6 of the candy bar. So this 2 is my numerator. So that means that there's the 6 tells me it was cut into 6 pieces, but the 2 means they just want me to shade 2 of the 6 pieces. So I could shade this one and this one. So this is 1 of the 6, 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 and 1 of the 6. So we call these 1/6, and they wanted me to shade in 2 of them. Then it says how much of the candy bar is left. So after I shaded in those 2, how many pieces are left? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 6 left. So my answer is 4/6. Okay, let's try another one of those. This one says, divide the pizza into 8 equal shares. Shade 4/8 of the pizza. How much pizza is left? Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Divide the pizza into 8 equal shares. So pizza is usually round, and when I divide circles, I need to have all my lines go through the center. So 8 equal shares, I could go that way, I could go that way, and then I could cut each of those in half. Let's double check that I have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so they want me to shade 4 of the 8 pieces, 4/8. So I can shade 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I shaded 1, another 1, another 1, and another 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 total pieces out of the 8 total. And these are each called 1/8 too, because it's 1 out of the 8 slices. So my question says, how much of the pizza is left? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces out of 8. So 8's my denominator because the whole was cut into 8. 4 is my numerator because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces left. Okay, let's try some of these together. We are on page 7, so if you can open your book to page 7. Here is our first problem, and it says, Partition the rectangle into 4 equal pieces and label each piece with the correct fraction. Okay, so partition, we're going to cut into equal parts, 4 equal pieces. Okay, so we're doing this together, so please don't go ahead. I think the easiest way for this rectangle is, why don't we cut it in half and then cut each of these in half. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. So they want us to label each piece with the correct fraction. Well, our denominators are 4 because the whole was cut into fourths. And each of these is 1 piece. So that's 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. Okay, let's read our next part of our directions. Shade 3 of the 4 pieces. Okay, and if you need to pause the video to get something to shade with, you may. So I'm going to shade 3 of the 4 pieces. So here's 1, 2, and 3. So I shaded 3 of the 4 pieces, and write the fraction for the shaded part of the rectangle. Okay, so the shaded part, how much of our rectangle is shaded? Well, our denominator's 4 because the rectangle was cut into 4 parts, and our numerator is 1, 2, 3 because 3 of the 4 pieces is shaded. It also says, then write a fraction for the unshaded part. So for the unshaded part, our denominator is still 4 because it was cut into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. But how many of the pieces are not shaded? Just 1 piece is not shaded. Okay, let's try another one together. This one says, partition the circle into 4 equal pieces and label each piece with the correct fraction. Okay, so remember, in a circle, everything has to go through the center. So we can cut it here and here. Okay, so just like above, our denominators are going to be 4 because we cut the circle into 4 parts, or partitioned it into 4 parts. And our numerators are each going to be 1 because that's 1 of the pieces, 1 piece, 1 piece, and 1 piece. Okay, let's read our directions. Shade 2 of the 4 pieces. Okay, so let's shade 2 of the 4 pieces. Here's 1, 2. It says, and write the fraction for the shaded part of the circle. Okay, so how much is shaded? Well, the whole was cut into 4, so the denominator is 4, and how many pieces are shaded? 1, 2. It says, then write the fraction for the unshaded part. So unshaded, the whole was still cut into 4 pieces, so my denominator is still 4, and there's 2 not shaded, so 1, 2 pieces aren't shaded, so our answer is 2/4. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you have to do page 8 on your own. It looks like this, and have a good afternoon.